The Marvels is a movie that almost no one seems to be excited for, aside from the handful of Brie Larson and MCU stans that exist, and in an attempt to begin the promotion of this film, Marvel has released a new image with the three leading ladies that is getting roasted by people online. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, of course, we still have several months until this movie releases because it does come out in November, unless it gets delayed yet again, but it doesn't look like it's going to. They are beginning the promotional material for this movie, slowly but surely trickling it into the wild, putting it on social media, on a bunch of different platforms, and this is a brand new image that they decided to release, and it looks terrible. Just putting aside the fact that, this is a new movie that's going to be filled to the brim with girl power messaging, this poster itself looks awful. You've clearly got all three of these ladies in front of a green screen, and when I think of Marvel and the MCU, I don't think of a low budget, low effort image like this. I think of like explosions in the background. Maybe they could have actually released an image where all three of them are talking in scenes together in this film, but instead they have like these women individually standing and they just like photoshopped it onto this like galaxy background, and they thought this was going to look cool, and it just doesn't. It looks cheap, it looks low effort. Overall, definitely not a good image, and it wouldn't get me hyped even if I was mildly excited for this film. But people have seen this image and are destroying it online. Now, when it comes to this film, it's going to get destroyed no matter what, I think, seeing as ding ding ding, Brie Larson is in it, and she has, definitely voiced how much she hates MCU viewers in the past, especially ones who do not like the MCU. But just people are brutally roasting this image itself. First the writing went, then the CGI. Now movie promo designs are out the window. They dare kick us all while we are down. And this is so true. The MCU, when I used to think of the MCU, I used to think of epic movies and action scenes and just good content overall. And yeah, the writing slowly went downhill. Now it's at the bottom of the barrel. Same with the CGI. The past few films to release have just overall been extremely disappointing experiences, and now it's like they can't even put the time or effort into the movie promo images. They need to make money on this film. As far as we know, they need to make over $800 million. But it just seems like they're really not putting a lot of effort into these images. Is this really a Disney official image? What year is this? I hope it's scrapped. It looks like a fourth grader made it. I 100% agree. It just looked like this is something that you would teach a younger individual at school on how to use Photoshop. I mean, it's like they took their three favorite characters, picked a background from Google, and this is what they ended up with. I mean, it just looks awful. I think most people could create something that looks way better. I love this meme. Graphic design is my passion. It's just so funny because of how pathetic this situation is. I mean, come on, you couldn't even create good looking promo material for this movie. But this poster aside, I mean, we already know that this movie is most likely going to be a flop for them. It does not really have any hype behind it. I mean, most people have been as you can see with just this comment section alone, destroying this film and the upcoming future for the MCU. I've had to talk about this movie a couple of times, unfortunately, and I'm sure that I'm going to have to talk about it a lot more going forward as we get closer to full release. But, you know, it seems like this movie has been kind of a shit show. I mean, we saw the first official trailer not even all that long ago, back in April. And, you know, it doubled down on quirky MCU humor and revealed another gender-swapped MCU villain. I'm fine with some quirky humor being in movies, and in the MCU, we've definitely had our fair share of humor, and I'm okay with that. But the problem is that the humor that they're shoving into these films and shows and just content in general now isn't funny in any way, shape, or form. I guess if I was like a 10-year-old, I might find it a little bit funny, but it's just not for, you know, people who have shown up to actually watch the MCU content. And as it says, this is a, you know, female-centric film. They've got the 3 main female cast members, and now we also have a gender-swapped MCU villain. And I had mentioned this before, but the actress who is actually playing this gender-swapped MCU villain is Tom Hiddleston's wife. So the woman who is married to Loki's actor. So it seems like she wanted to just get into the MCU, and they were like, hey, why don't you do this film coming up? And she does have a past of more female-centric content. She was part of like The Handmaid's Tale for, I believe, a season and a half. So she definitely is no stranger to these types of pieces of content, but this was a big issue. We also heard rumors that behind the scenes, the movie has been delayed several times because of Brie Larson, specifically her diva behavior, and the alleged leakers were saying it was a complete shit show behind the scenes. We've also heard that the movie was delayed the most recent time due to the CGI just not being up to par. They have been listening to the CGI criticisms people have been talking about and how the CGI quality seems to be going downhill, and they wanted to delay it kind of at the last minute because they were worried that it wasn't going to look good enough. So right now there are a lot of rumors circulating around this movie, and again, when we see awful posters like this, awful promotional material for this, even though I personally am not excited for this movie and I really don't have a lot of interest in it, I still could potentially get a little bit excited if it at least looked awesome, if the trailers kind of you know, didn't show me what I was expecting, you know, which is, you know, feminism, messaging, woman power. If it at least looked like it would be an okay addition to the MCU, I would probably give it a chance. But the teasers and trailers are awful. The CGI that we've seen looks awful. Now, the movie posters and the promotional images are looking awful. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.